Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're live tonight here in the desert. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting as we're getting set here to go green flag racing tonight here at Phoenix, man. Going to be a good one. What you think out there, Patrick?
It's going to be loose and it's going to be fun.
Oh, absolutely, man. These guys are definitely going to have their hands full here as we get set to go racing as the green flag flies. Nick Cohan's the man out front here, and folks, I apologize. I'm going to get the timing right. We're all learning with this new heat race and qualifying package. I'm going to get the timing right on how these darn things start. But, hey, we're not definitely going to miss none of the action. A little different than what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing high downforce racing tonight. Not so much.
Yeah, you got smaller spoilers on the back, smaller splitters on the front, and these things are really going to like to step out on them. Hot racetrack tonight.
Absolutely. So here we go as these guys, man, are flying around here. Good racing going on here up front. Trey Edson's trying to make a move. Nick Cohan, boy, last week won it. Can he go 2 for 2 here?
So far, looking pretty good. Got a pretty commanding lead over Justin Fuller right now, with Daniel Falkingham trailing just behind them.
So here we go right now. It's out front. Justin's right there. Justin didn't have the week he wanted last week. Called up Daniel Falkingham there, Trey Edson, Brian Macklin, Beasley, Tommy Ryan, old Scott Simley comes Smiley out there. Nick Silver's up tonight. Kyle Taraska having a good run up at 10th so far.
Yeah, it's with a longer race, hotter racetrack, and with this new downforce, going to have to really protect the rear tires and protect the drive off for later in the runs.
You know what I know about the past here at Phoenix is I don't like this place. It reminds me of, and I'm going to kind of reference to Darlington, and the reason I say that is because Darlington, both ends of the track is different. Turn 1 and 2 is different, 3 and 4 is different. Pretty much the same thing here. Turn 1 and 2, you have a little bit of banking to it, And then you got that wild dog leg afterwards. But 3 and 4, 3 kind of a slight makeup, but it's really kind of flat. You got to really throttle that thing. You don't want to smash on it too hard till the car's really straight. If not, you'll kick out from under you. So that's why I kind of reference it to kind of like a Darlington as a, being different on both ends of the track.
Yeah, it's really about finesse, too. You're going to want to squeeze the throttle, not mash it down out of either one of these corners. And it's going to give these guys a hard time, especially later in the run when tires start falling off.
There we go. But so far, man, looking good out front here. Adam Gillian, Pedro Mega out there. And remember, folks, we have got a bunch of rookies in the class here tonight. And you got to look for them out here. Let's see if we can't get right there. Actually, one of the top running rookies right now, Brian Macklin. You can reference him by the little yellow stripe on the top of the window. Nick Cohan, he's not no rookie. Justin and Daniel, they're not rookies. But Brian out there running for the Rookie of the Year season title. Let's see who else. Right now, Richard Beasley, he's hanging up in the 6th place spot. See who else we got. I don't think Kyle Trask. Right there's 2 of the top 10. Got to go outside the top 10 here. That's a tight race. Have you looked at the points on that? Because I've been looking at it, and actually pretty tight between those rookies.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler Stevens, one of the rookies this year?
Yes.
One of the things that people didn't get to see was the heat race. Tyler Stevens got taken out in a wreck. He did not make this race. Huge blow to the points for him tonight.
Well, last week, and let's go back here, 27th spot, Tyler Overstreet, we talked about him in Daytona, and actually the second race of the year. He missed last week also, so kind of took a blow there. With the new format they got, let me go ahead and kind of explain it a little bit, folks, because I know the last 2 weeks now, the start of the race, I've missed the kind of grid here, and I do apologize there to all the members and whatnot. But what happens is these guys, they're having a heat race. They have a qualifying, and then they have a last chance heat race. What's happening is they're having more than 43 drivers. Well, they're trying to make it fair for guys to get in. So the top, let me make sure I get it right. It's the top 35 or the top 30. It's somewhere in there. I'll get confirmation, Patrick. Maybe you know on that. But it's
top
like
35.
Top 35 go into qualifying, and then the last spots go in the last chance qualifying. And it's only if we get more than 43 drivers out here, and we have in the last several weeks. And this series usually pulls that. It's kind of one of the premier series here, Transervice Cup Series here for the Sim500. But it's kind of the reasoning behind. I apologize to all the viewers out there, all the drivers, and all the guys here at Sim500. We'll get it right. I've been talking with Joey, and we did switch over. We got Facebook and YouTube going, so I do appreciate everybody out there in the viewer world. But again, man, so some changes here, kind of just trying to see what's fair to all the drivers. And hey, right now I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know if it's fair because Nick Cohan, he's dominating.
Yeah, he is checked out. 1.1 second lead over Justin Fuller right now, and an even bigger lead over Daniel Falkingham in 3rd place. Definitely a great start, and want to keep it up for the rest of this thing.
Absolutely, looking good so far right there. Like I said, Daniel out front. Now you got Brian Macklin chewing up the back end of him. You got to go a little further back. What this race I think is going to produce is a lot of small packs, maybe a pass in a car here and there. Guys who know how to save tires here is going to be the #1 key. If you abuse those tires, I think you're going to be in for a long, long night.
Absolutely. Especially once you start getting to about 20 laps. That's when you'll see a lot of fall off. The back end really starts sliding. But if you do a good job taking care of them, it's going to be a nice, easy trip for you.
Yes, it is. So far, so everybody out here running. As is right now, Nick Cohan out front. Right behind him, Scott Simley, Tommy Ryan, Kyle Trask up there. We got Nick Silver, Chad Cole, Josh Parker, Josh Shaw. We were talking earlier, Patrick, about this series and a lot of drivers here. There's a lot of heavy hitter names in here. A lot of great competition. I mean, and you can just look through this field and see it very, very hard to compete. I mean, you don't really see one guy week in and week out dominating It's some good competition throughout.
Well, and we talked about it a little bit. Adam Gill, and the guy who won almost every single race last season, it seemed like, hanging back at 19th right now. Just a top-heavy league with a lot of really fast guys.
And I noticed that too. Last year, you mentioned that Adam Gillian came in here, dominated the regular season. Now, he did make it to the Final Four, but in that final race, just had a lot of technical problems, did not win the championship. That goes to Anthony Navarro, which I do not.
I don't think he was able to make it tonight. Not in the field.
Okay, well, he has won one, so he is locked in. Obviously, they do have 3 drop weeks here within the season. It's a long season. Oh, Pedro Mega got a little tight there. Almost went up into the 52 machine. It's a good side-by-side racing there around where Adam is. But, speaking about Adam, we got to realize here, too, it's a whole new year, whole new season. It's a different package. Some of these races, like this race, not a lot of downforce, but that new tire model. That, I think, has really thrown a couple guys off.
Yeah, and especially with the new change to Phoenix here, we've got the lower downforce package on. This thing drives totally different than anything we've ever experienced before. So much more different than last year, even.
Absolutely, right now. And like we just said, so guys that dominated last year right there, Adam, back in 19th spot, Sean Castro, Pedro Mega, Steve Brenner and company back there. EJ O'Rourke, not bad. I love watching the post about him. Everybody says EJ ain't wrecked yet. So I guess put it up, hashtag EJ has not wrecked yet.
Yeah, he's hanging in there right now. He's got a little bit of a lead over Steven Goschuk here, trying to chase down Josh Parker for 12th.
Good run, nice looking car he's got there. Got a new sponsor on it, Transervice Cup. He's got the Transervice guy, so he's flying the title sponsor here tonight. Yeah, Josh Parker, another guy, very, very fast. But he marred back in traffic in 12th, so we'll just have to see, can he utilize the tires? Is he going to be okay? That thing going to stick.
One of the more difficult things to do here at Phoenix is pass, because it's really the bottom or nothing. You can't get around guys on the outside. No PJ1 or Awesome Sauce today.
No,
we got a wreck.
John Fowler. Back on the replay here. Look what happened to old John. Got a feeling, probably just lost. Oh, yeah, that thing just came out from under him on the straightaway and violently hit the inside wall. Wow. I can watch that one more time here. Just, that thing just came out from under him there, Patrick.
Yeah, it's easy to do around here. It really is.
Wow.
It gets a little tight going into the corner. You're putting a little bit too much wheel into it. Get back to the gas and around it goes.
Absolutely. So, back on the green, or back on the caution here. First time tonight, so single car incident. That thing just stepped out from under him on the straightaway. That's kind of surprising. Pit stops. That's going to be a busy place. Everybody wants 4 tires and fuel.
I imagine this is going to be one of those tracks where just about every caution we get, you're going to see guys coming down pit road putting 4 tires on it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I did a race last night in Xfinity cars. Later on in the race, they did do a 2-tire stop. And track position was very, very crucial. I got a feeling track position tonight might actually be in right there, the 12 machine. Well, he just blew by every one of his pit stops. Well, that was a good race off pit road. Did you see that?
It was. It looks like Fuller. Oh, gonna have Cohan coming around Fuller. He just beat him out.
Yeah, I saw that. That was like a nose right there. Cohan got him. Fuller was coming, though. Good battle off pit road, but the 12 machine there, he overshot like every one of his pit stops.
Yeah, I think clean air is going to be really, really important this race. You're going to want to get out in front of it and really control the lines and how much air gets on the nose of the guy behind you.
I'm with you on that one. I think a lot of these guys here will, track position last night was crucial in that race, so I think tonight is definitely going to be, that much more crucial as right now. Nick Cohan's going to lead them. Justin Fuller's going to be there in second. Tommy Ryan up in third. They're getting set 2x2 them here. Go back racing at Phoenix. Like, again, it's a tricky place. And, you know, I know this league, they're not really known for a lot of cautions. But this place here kind of breeds it. I mean, it's just a tough track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think guys will still be a pretty settled down here. We still got a long way to go. You know, 132 laps now. So still a lot of racing left.
You know what I just noticed? Favorite.
What's that?
Well, never mind. There it is. Way back in the back. I was thinking to say my favorite paint job out there, favorite car.
Find the Twinkie Mobile?
That Twinkie Mobile. Kevin Brown, he's back at 29. I was looking for him. I don't know. I just love that car. I mean, that paint job, it just, I don't know, sticks out to me, I guess.
Well, and while we sit here and pace, I was able to bring up our rookie standings. Gael Brooks is currently the leader. Another guy didn't make the final race here tonight, so pretty much going to be able to say goodbye to that points lead after tonight.
You know, he's got a long way to go. I think they still have a drop week. You're right. Gael actually has done very well holding on to it. That's a very tight battle. And I think it will be throughout the whole entire season, something we're going to, keep up with. You know, we're early in the season here. I mean, we got a lot of racing left all the way to November, folks. So, stay tuned. Me and Patrick, we'll keep you updated on what's going on. And it's just going to be very interesting to see who wins that rookie title. Getting set to go back green flag, pace cars, about to duck off on pit road. Nick Cohan, he'd love to make it 2 for 2. You know, he broke the drought last week and won it. Hadn't won in a very, very long time. Tonight, boy, it looks like he's got his groove. Because you know and I know, Patrick, as we go green, once you win one race, sometimes, man, it trickles down and you start having a combination of them.
Yeah, all it takes is a little bit of a swing in momentum and you start feeling good and racing a little bit better every week.
Absolutely. Cohan out front there. Justin Fuller sitting in second, trying to eat up that back deck lid. Now, remember, this is a track that I don't know if it favors Justin Fuller's style or not. He's going to have to back it down. Right now, doing very good, but we got a gaggle of machines back here with Josh Parker, Trey Edson. Remember, Josh Parker was marred back in traffic there for a little bit. He's up there to a 7th place battler.
Yeah, all it takes is a really good pit stop and you pick up some spots on pit road and you pass a few cars on the track. Next thing you know, you're racing in the top 10 again.
No doubt about it. He's up to 7. Daniel Falkenham, he's the one that lost big on pit road there all the way back to 8. Kyle Tarastica picked up a lot of spots up there to the 5th place spot, looking good. They're still side by side battling it out there. Amongst them, you just got to be very, very careful in the back up there. I don't know. I think the bottom groove is the place to be. But then again, after a while trying to pass on that bottom groove, that's where it's going to be treacherous.
Yeah, especially once you get the tires worn out, you're trying real hard to get up underneath the guy in front of you coming off the corner and maybe crank the wheel just a little bit too much.
Absolutely. Right there behind Daniel Falkenham, Trey Edson, Chad Cole. I call him the Iceman out here because he usually, that's one guy that might look to save some tires. A race like this probably benefits him very well because he can kind of sit back. If we get some long green flag runs, this race will really, I think, will come into his hand. No Nick Silver there hanging on in 10th.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to the lap traffic. You see this bottom lane get rubbered in more. Cars are going to get a little bit tighter as the day goes on here. And whoever can navigate that lap traffic, I tell you what, you really don't want to run up on it coming through turns 3 and 4.
You got a freight train from the top all the way, man, well back into the back here. Everybody's kind of single file. What's going to happen is you'll probably see 1 or 2 guys, make a pass here and there. They'll start picking them off one by one, but this is usual Phoenix-style racing here as you see them all single file for the moment. Back here, Mike Kelly hanging on the 15th, Pedro Mega. Pedro, he's back in it here. He raced in the Sim500, but he did not race a full season. He only raced a couple. He's back in to do it full time and try to battle for that rookie title also. Brian Boris Cook. Haven't seen Brian Cook in the last couple weeks now. Obviously, he's been busy. He's one of the PR guys for Joe Gibbs Racing. So he's probably been busy in his real-life job right there with those guys, and especially with the real NASCAR season. Good battle there with Adam Gillian happening side by side.
Well, I'll tell you what we're about to have is a good battle for the league. It's Fuller is all over the back bumper of Nick Cohan.
Bringing Brian Macklin up there with him, and that's the thing about this track. One thing Justin's got to understand is if he goes for that pass, he'll also have company there very, very soon. It's not like a lot of tracks where you can't, gain up on somebody. A lot of the cookie cutter tracks here, Patrick, and I know, once you get out there and try to pass, you're kind of stuck side by side trying to pass a guy. Here, you can get it done. The problem is usually you're going to bring that third or fourth place guy with you.
Oh, absolutely, and it's about timing it, too. You got to be really careful where you decide to pass. I prefer turn 1 into 2, and you can really cut that dog leg and it really not mess you up into 3 and 4 too much. But you kind of have to pick and choose.
Yeah, I would say, you could make the pass coming out of 4. It's going to be very, very hard. You're going to have to be very aggressive doing it. I'm with you. I think 1 and 2, the dog leg, swinging it down in there. If you can make the pass complete through the dog leg, because remember, going into 3, you got to be very, very careful there. That's actually, the track goes kind of flatter. You got to woe that thing down, and it can get very, it kind of gets tight going in, very loose coming off.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of New Hampshire. You're coming around 1 and 2. It's a long, flat corner. You really have to set that thing down and be patient with the throttle to get it to rotate.
There you go. Well, right now, Justin Fuller has pulled up on the back end, and Brian Macklin's right there. So Brian probably will sit back there and say, okay, what you guys going to do? We got Tommy Ryan back there, too. Don't count him out. And Kyle Trask. What will happen, I think, the longer this run goes, the more tire wear, and you'll start seeing guys close up on each other. It's who can save those tires. I mean, that's the key, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wonder if maybe Nick backed off the pace a little bit after seeing how worn out those tires were the first time around to try and make them last a little bit longer this time.
Well, Justin's doing an outstanding job hanging with him. I think he's just trying to search the track right now. Nick's got the preferred line that he needs. So he's going to hang on to it for the moment. Why not just sit back there and kind of ride? Everybody's kind of single file all the way back through the field here, all the way back in. They go back here to about where Brian Boris is. Might be a little battle. Like I say, you're going to see little chunks here and there. A guy might make a pass, 1 or 2, but for the most part, everybody's about single file throughout the field.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that a lot tonight. Guys are going to kind of single file out as you get older on the tires. Thing gets really hard to drive as we get later on in the runs.
I would say this is probably a track here tonight. Obviously, you're driving, against a lot of the other drivers out here, but not only that, I think you're really driving the track. A lot of what the track, kind of driving your own track here, and just trying to be, careful. Just trying to be very, very careful.
As you see, looks like Cohan's going to pull out a little bit away from Justin Fuller right now. Maybe conserving those tires worked a little bit for him as he's starting to pull away from him just ever so slightly.
At the interval right there is about 3/10, almost 4/10. Yeah, he's pulling away a little bit on Fuller. Back here in the back. And like I say, just throughout the field here, everybody's kind of single file. Very patient race. I got to give hats off here to these drivers. I mean, it's an outstanding thing that they do here, the Trans Cup Service. I've done many of Phoenix races, and again, I go back to, and actually I go back to maybe like about 2017, I believe it was, 2018, somewhere in that area. And even with these guys, this track, man, was just a nightmare. Just really, really, I don't know, it's just Phoenix.
It's one of those things that we haven't really talked a whole lot about it, but on brake time, the first 3 races, you're pretty much on throttle. You're not touching the brakes. This is pretty heavy braking zones here. So it takes a finesse to get that thing woed down, but not too much.
Good run right now for old Nick Cohan out front here. Come back here, Adam Gillian's making waves 1 by 1. He's up to 12th. I think this is maybe what he needs. He needs a good long green flag run. Everybody kind of single file. If you got a fast car and you know it, you'll start picking him off. He's going to work over Richard Beasley right there for the 11th place spot. See if he can take it. Try to see if he can't run down Nick Silver. And I think that's what you got to do. You got to sit back and be patient.
Absolutely. Eventually, we're going to see these guys really start running up on top of lap traffic here before they have to make their pit stops. So patience is key.
Tide ride there, Richard, boy, he got a little loose coming out of turn 4, and you can do that very easily. Thing almost stepped out from under. You saw the rear end
We're about 20 laps from when we went green again. I think caution came out around lap 20, 23, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yes. Yep. All right, right now, though, still Nick Cohan out front with Justin Fuller.
Yeah, hasn't been able to pull away like I thought he was going to, but, you know, holding on to the lead, and that's the important part.
Yes, it is, and looking good doing it here with Nick Cohan, Justin Fuller there, Brian Macklin, Tommy Ryan and company, Josh Parker, Kyle Taraska, Daniel Falkenham, Trey Edson, Chad Cole, and Nick Silver all out front so far. Think old Nick can pull it off here today?
Definitely. I think as long as he can stay out front and stays clear of traffic, keeps the nose clean, he's going to have a... He's definitely one of the fastest cars out on the track. As Fuller has gotten up to his bumper, but not able to get to a quarter panel and try and make a pass.
No doubt there's Nick's having a very good run. Tommy Ryan's having a good run here tonight. Up there to 4th place. Got Josh Parker there behind him, but Tommy looking good in that 99. Not had the season he's wanted. Got caught up in some incident, you know, most of the races. But a race like this, the pace that it's going so far, and now obviously it can change by the end, but at the pace that it's going right now, you kind of, like I said, just running your own style race out here. So Tommy looking good right now.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to get settled in, really get a feel of this thing. Obviously, they had a lot of practice time, but not a lot of race time. And you find that once you get settled into a rhythm, how much easier it is to drive these things.
Right now, man, doing pretty good. Like you said, Tommy Ryan, he's there. Josh Parker's behind him. Kyle Trask is another one. Up and down kind of season. Didn't do too bad at Daytona, but man, this season that went tonight. Again, you can change all that in one race. We see Nick Cohan there, you know, do it. And, Daniel Falkenham, he's fighting that car behind him.
Yeah, he has not had a good run since the pit stop here. You know, holding on to 7th right now, but might end up losing that to Trey Edson.
I see that Trey Edson right there behind him, working over his back end as Daniel looks like he's fighting that car now. And you know, we don't really talk too much about tires and what they can do. And you know, you hear in real NASCAR, I'll put on a new set of tires, they come back out and the car's worse. You know, you get a bad set of tires. I don't know how well the tire model is and how realistic. I don't know if it goes to that extent, but I can say that probably I know the weather shouldn't play a factor because we get the NIS weather, but I don't know how realistic the tire model is as opposed to, hey, look, you go in, you get a set of tires, and those tires might not be as good as the last one.
Well, certainly once the track gets rubbered in more, you have that kind of adaptive track model now. You know, it is going to feel different from when you started the race. You maybe have a little bit more grip here, a little less grip there, and the tires are going to chunk maybe a little bit more than they used to.
Yeah, and you're right. And that's, you know, that's what I'm saying there. Yeah, you've got the dynamics on the track, and with this new tire model, it's a handful, and you can see, I mean, you know, realistic-wise, it actually does follow, you know, what would happen in a real NASCAR. I mean, you know, race, you know, you're out there, you got a good car, feels really good, and you go in, you get a new set of tires, come out, and the car don't feel too good. Well, that's basically what Daniel's feeling. I mean, he was up front running very well. Now that car just is not handling to his liking.
Yeah, one of the things that they still have here in Sim is an in-car brake bias adjustment. So it's definitely one thing that these guys can play with, try and get the car to turn a little bit better. I imagine they're fighting pretty loose in right now on older tires.
Brian Macklin has just got passed by Tommy Ryan. Tommy has taken over that 3rd place spot. We were just talking about it there. Here's at the time that you start seeing guys that really, really know how to save tires. And I'm curious to watch some of these guys tonight, some of the drivers, because you've heard the rumbling throughout the Cup Series and you've heard the rumbling throughout iRacing which like I've always said, is realest thing without spending millions of dollars to go real racing. About the cup package, about the low down or the high downforce. Well, tonight they don't have that. This is considered a short track. So now I want to see how these guys adapt to it. Who is the guys that are going to step up and say, okay, now I got what I wanted. Let me see how well my performance is. Nick Cohan's definitely showing the way.
Well, one of the things you've seen is these guys not be able to get into the corner quite as hard as they used to. They're certainly braking a lot earlier and using a little bit more of it because they don't have that parachute on the back slowing them down anymore.
And you're right. That's a good point. I always thought you got to back those turns up. You got to adjust over time as the tires wear out. Fuel goes down. That car is going to get more slick, more tight. So you got to definitely back those turns up. But as opposed to before, when you've got that massive downforce, you can send it into the turn. Well, tonight's not going to work. You send it in there tonight, and that thing's going to probably shoot up the track, hit the wall, come out from under you, or take somebody out. Now, I'm not going to say we won't see somebody because there again, Patrick, it's going to make it hard to pass here. You see it right now, unless a guy really is just off the pace. And, we can possibly see somebody come through the field, but it's going to be very unlikely because the lap times are so close right now. But again, man, I'm going to tell you, towards the end of the race, yes, somebody's going to have to send it to turn.
Yeah, and you're starting to see a little bit of guys searching around the racetrack. If you come back watching Daniel Falkingham, he's right down on that yellow line through 3 and 4. You got that 20 car, Trey Edson, maybe a little bit lane higher up in that corner, turning down halfway through, trying to get a better run off. So you're going to see guys start to move around a little bit, trying to maybe arc that corner and get a better run out to get a run down the straightaway.
Yes, it is. Good run so far. Like you said, Trey Edson there trying to hold off there, Nick Silver, and trying to get around Daniel Falkenham for the moment. Well, I don't want to jinx it. We've had only one caution here tonight. Very, very good, outstanding race. Chad Cole's hanging on to the 10th place spot there. Adam Gillian, he's up into the 11th place spot. So far, so good for all these drivers. We're at lap 50. Is that lap 50? Lap 60, my bad.
Yeah, we're cruising right on through this thing.
Absolutely. Short track in comparison, if I'm not mistaken, this place is one mile.
I believe it's either a mile or just a little over.
Yeah, it's considered a short track by nature. It doesn't really feel like a short track. It's almost like, what's the other track that I always think about? It doesn't. Well, I think it's like Auto Club. Auto Club is a 2-mile track, but I'm gonna tell you what, that track doesn't look like it. It's. I think that one ain't that the one that's kind of mirrored after Michigan, I believe it is.
Yeah, Vegas just Auto Club last weekend. It's a progressively banked 2-mile oval.
Yeah, and it just doesn't look as big as Michigan, but boy, it is. It's fast. So like a track like this right here, it's considered a short track, but compared to like a Richmond or something, it just doesn't really, I don't know, it looks kind of bigger.
Yeah, it's a little bit funnier shaped when you get it out there to the mile long, and when you compare it to tracks like Richmond and New Hampshire, which is a mile long as well. Certainly an opportunity to use your bumper, though, if you can get close enough to a guy and you're just tired of trying to pass him.
Well, that is true. Now, that's another thing we got to look at, too, is if you can't pass them, move them. I guess this is the best way to say it. Everybody's going to hear that and going like, man, Joe just said that. So that's the new way of saying it. If you can't pass them, move them. Only on short track, guys. Don't do it on big tracks, all right? Don't do it on big tracks.
Hey, just give them a little nudge and you move them up a lane, up out of your way, and away you go.
And I'm all for the bump and run. There's a difference between wrecking a guy and bump and run, though, like you just said. You bump them a little bit, moves them up out of the groove. I know we live in a time of day that NASCAR fans or drivers out there, if you touch me or touch my car, oh, Lord, it's the end of the world. I grew up back in the day where these guys come home with demolition derby-style cars.
Well, you got bumpers on the car for a reason. Use them.
There you go, absolutely. Well, good battle back here with Sean Castro there. Pedro Mega is making his way to the front of the 14th place spot as Nick Cohen still leading it. I'm looking at the lap times, and the lap times tell me one thing here. Very hard to pass. Not really going to see a lot of people just blow through the field here. Goes all the way to the top 29. I mean, if I'm looking at this right, it's within, what, a second? Maybe less than.
Yeah, I mean, they're running relatively close lap times to each other all the way through the field. But a fall off quite a bit from where they, maybe started. Looking at about a 1.5 seconds difference between, optimal lap times and where they're running right now.
Yeah, the best lap time I'm showing, like Nick Cohen ran a 27:016, and his last one's in the 28. So you're right. That's huge fall off, and that just shows you the tires there. But everybody's doing it. And like I said, just all the way through to, I'm gonna say all the way to 25th right now. I'm showing a little further back here and look. So I actually 29. So back all heck. Let's go back to 30.
Tell you who's having
I'm
a
gonna tell you
rough race.
what, the whole field. You know what, there, Patrick? The whole field's within a second.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's having a rough race right now. Scott Simbly started in 6th, all the way back to 22nd. Just can't seem to make up ground.
And he was up front there and just had looks like maybe a bad pit stop. Actually, I look back on his pit stop. He was, he was the one who missed the pit lane. That's it. He's the 12 machine. My bad. Because his whole pit stop, his pit stop was 15 seconds, but his whole pit stop was over a minute. So right there, crucial. But yeah, he was the one who kind of flew through about 5 boxes and had to back up. Probably had a penalty in that too. But yeah, I talk about it week in and week out here. I've said it before, mental mistakes. Mental mistakes meaning pit road. Pit road is probably the number one place that you find yourself having mental mistakes at. And sometimes it's just overshooting your pit box, coming into, getting a penalty or something like that, along with other things on the track. But pit road is usually where a lot of guys can win and lose a race.
Well, and that's another pointer to how competitive this series is. It's just one mistake. It's a small mistake of overshooting your pit box. Lost you all those spots, lost you all that time, can't make up the ground now, just stuck in traffic. And it's, really putting a damper on the race. You hope to get some cautions to, work back through it.
And with the field, like we said, under a blanket, I mean, it's spread out, obviously, but, you look here, you can definitely see lap time-wise, once you get marred back there, there's not a lot you can do. So, lap traffic and get marred, back in traffic, you just can't come through it. And without cautions, that's a lonely, lonely feeling.
No, absolutely.
Good run here. What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, good run here. Well, not, Shane Ewing obviously had a good run going. He's falling back a little bit. Tyler Overstreet's taking him over back there in the 23rd spot.
Yeah, maybe a case of burned up the tires a little bit too much and just trying to hang on till a pit cycle.
Well, I know, Patrick, last week your little boy was sick and all. You kind of missed that race, but I know this will make you happy because last week 1-2 Dizzy Motorsport.
Yeah, good run for all those guys. And obviously looking strong up front anyways right now.
Justin Fuller, Nick Cohan right there along with it. Tommy Ryan's moving in. And Justin has been able to stay with pace there with Nick, but not been able to get up there. And what I'm looking with lap time-wise, one lap looks like Fuller's just a touch faster, Cohan's a touch faster, but time-wise, he's not fast enough to get up there and just go blowing by Cohan. He could probably get up there to his bumper, maybe get to the quarter panel or door, but with the lap times that I'm seeing those two run, there's no way between them that they'd be able to, he'd be able to just go blowing by Cohan.
Yeah, it's going to take a pretty big mess up, and both guys really look like they're sawing on those wheels right now, just trying to hang on to them.
Well, we're 75 laps into this one. I got a feeling we're going to see some green flag stops here right along with Justin Fuller just to look, see what he's doing inside the machine. He looks smooth right there going through 3 and 4. Maybe a little bit, hacking on it there coming out of 4, but that's what you got to do to keep that thing calm, cool, and collected. Turn 1 here. He pulls it in. I mean, yeah, they're working the wheel more than what they normally would.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Fuller's shifting in turn 1 and turn 3 in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. He's dropping it down a gear to try and get a good run up out of it.
And you can do that. I've seen some guys actually on this track do it. I never did do that in the past, but let's watch right here as he goes into 1 and 2. Had to hang on to it right there. Up through the dog leg, heading off into turn 3 right now. If he shifts it down. Stayed in 4th right there. He stayed through the gears. From what I'm showing, he stayed in the gears all the way through that time.
Oh, a little bit of a slide for him getting into 1 and 2. Looks like maybe just trying to search for that little bit extra something that Nick doesn't have.
And that's what you got to do. It could be just that one little thing. And you're right, he could have tried it. Let me try doing that this time, see if I can actually gain. And because it's a stalemate between those two right now.
Yeah, they're really both on par with each other. It's going to be which one makes a mistake here. And I think as long as Nick's out front, he's right where he needs to be.
I think the guy that is moving up through the field slowly, Adam Gillian, he's up to 9th already. And he's made some ground. We talked about it. He was way back there, but picking them off one by one, I think this is what he needs. Long green flag runs. Does he have enough to get up there and take out, Cohan? We'd have to see, but he's definitely coming through the field one at a time. And in a race like this, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, he's certainly on par with the leader's lap times, running similar. So if he can get up there, I'd watch out.
Oh, Falkenham had to hang on to that thing. It got all kind of out of shape. The 3 wide in the dog leg. That's going to give an opening for Adam. That lets actually Trey Edson go around him. Daniel is having his hands full with that machine.
Yeah, and you see where Daniel's able to really pull back up to them coming down, arcing that straightaway and getting a more straight exit, but just loses so much time being in that top groove.
What reminds me here is actually kind of what some of the guys talked about. And we mentioned this the other week. The manufacturers out here. Obviously, this is a sim. They're on a fixed setup. But from what I've heard, there is some differences, a little bit of differences about how these cars might react and whatnot. What I'm finding here is it looks like the Camaro definitely has a lot of power and can, like you said, get off those turns and make a good going. Looks like the Mustang and Toyota might have a slight advantage on the handling characteristics. The Nick out front with the Toyota there. But it looks like those two cars, obviously on a track like this, might have that handling characteristic there. I think, I know it's not a huge amount, but I can see the guys with the Camaros out there seem like they're at rear end wants to step out a little bit more unstable than what I am seeing about the other two.
Yeah, it's definitely putting a lot more front downforce on the cars. It looks like we're starting to get guys making their way down pit road right now.
Yeah, you saw a car go around there, Nick Cohan, and that allowed Justin Fuller to close in on the back bumper. We'll see if he's able to do anything with it here. Like I said, just with the way the times are running and how smooth Nick is, it's going to take, well, we talked about it, a bump and run or something to, get him out the way.
Yeah, for sure. So, but that's the other thing is getting down to pit road speed. Kind of a weird pit road to get down to as you come out of 3 and 4. It's just right there. So whichever one of these guys gets on and off pit road first is, going to have a big advantage.
Yes, it is. And right now, good one. Now Daniel's back in the 8th spot, but pass for the lead. I think
big slide.
Wow. That's what he needed. I think that's what Justin Fuller needed was for Nick to make a mistake.
And if I'm Nick, I probably wouldn't sit behind him too long. I'd make my way down pit road, put 4 fresh Goodyears on that, and start making up track position.
Yeah, you just saw that car get very wiggly out there up front. And we're at that point now. This is where you're going to start wrestling with that machine.
Yeah, they've gone about 60-ish laps on these tires. We went green around lap 25, I think.
Yep, absolutely. Here we go out front there. Nick Cohan got passed by Justin Fuller, so Justin out front now. I believe they're teammates, aren't they?
I don't believe so.
I believe so. That's another thing, teams here. Yeah, Nick is Dizzy Motorsports. Justin is Aftermath. My bad. I know Justin's probably going to be yelling at me after the race. What's wrong with you, Joe? And Nick actually, he is starting now to lose grip on that machine. I think you're right. It's time to come in, yell at the pit crew, hey, I need 4 tires. Because you got Tommy Ryan now coming around him. I think it's done in.
Yeah, and you look at an opportunity of if you can come down pit road and you put the 4 tires on it, you get back out there, you'll start gaining on the guys that are still on pit road. Obviously, there's a big fall off here with the tires, about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds.
Yes, it is. So far, so good. You got Brian Macklin as the next guy behind him. He'll look to see if he can't make a spot behind. Get that thing right there going. A good race so far. I mean, these guys have been very patient to be a Phoenix-style race. It's definitely been. Hey, my hat's off to them because I always kind of cross my fingers at this place.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you really have to be careful coming. Oh, Nick Cohan coming to pit road right now.
Yeah, he's had enough.
You have to be careful coming down pit road. You don't want to get caught with a caution and end up a couple lap down.
And you can very easily here. I think we're going through the field to actually get a lot of these guys like stops. Justin Fuller still out front there. Tommy Ryan is second. But a slew of machines have made their stops here as we're at lap 90. Boy, we're clicking them off pretty quick.
Yeah, Fuller going to stay out on the racetrack right now. As he's going to go around Nick Cohan, put him a lap down.
We'll just have to see if this is going to pay off for him. I mean, one thing that green flag stops do is spread the field out. You know what I know, so see if Justin actually, is he falling off the pace that much?
Well, his last time around was a 28.5. We'll see what it is as he crosses the line here. Another 28.5. So, I mean, you're still looking at about 1.5 seconds off of optimal pace. And now that Nick's back on the track, he's going to be making up ground every lap.
So time will tell when Justin Fuller wants to make his pit stop here. He's going to have to, ultimately he's going to have to do it here pretty soon. You don't want to give up too much and then lose it out here on a pit stop. I know he would, well, we don't want to see it, but I know he would probably love to see a caution. That would be, like, wow. But if he, I think he's going to have to make that pit stop here the next lap or so.
Yeah, because again, you think every single lap that he continues to run out here is another lap that these guys are gaining on him. Granted, he's going to have the fresher tires when these guys start falling off, but, I mean, that's just a lot of ground to make up, and you've seen how hard it is to pass in traffic.
And that's the key. Like last night, I'll be honest with you, last night the Phoenix race, one thing I learned, we go back, and we've seen races in the past, even in this series, is, like you mentioned, he will have better tires, but getting through the field, and then by the time he gets there, the tires will neutralize. And I think that'll be the key. They'll be so far out in front of him. Now, if it works out great to where they're not so far out in front of him, it might be okay. But, boy, look at this mess he's in the middle of.
I wouldn't want to be a part of that. That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, and you know what? And there's nothing wrong with him. I mean, those guys got new tires. He's got old tires. And as a leader,
look at Josh Parker around the outside.
It's just that's close racing. As I'm the leader, I'd be holding my breath.
Yeah, I would try and get down low and just get out of their way, let these guys go.
Yeah, because there's no way you're going to race them. I mean, they're on newer tires, and you're just not going to be able to compete with them. And they're definitely going to want to put, they got everything to gain. You got everything to lose by trying to race them. I'm with you. The problem is he has given up a massive amount of time on the track. So I don't know. Is it smart for him to stay out here?
Well, the only way I could see it working out for him is, well, as he comes down pit road right now, so never mind.
Well, he's going to have, like you said, newer tires. Just look and see actually where Nick Cohan is in comparison.
Just went around him on the front stretch.
Yeah, so
Nick's going to take the lead by a long shot when he gets back around.
And that's what I was about to get to, was the next one, is that lead is going to be so substantial when he gets out front. Even with the new tires that Justin has, and I could be wrong, I could throw all this out the window. But going through traffic and with the new tires, he's going to have to use them up so much. A caution, I think, later is what's going to help him. It's a gamble. It really is, and I think Justin, gambled on it. The problem is it's going to put him way back in about 10th, 11th spot.
Yeah, it looks like Nick's going to be coming around the front stretch. He's going to have a good back stretch on him, as Fuller's going to get caught up with a lot of this traffic he's going to have to get around.
Yes, it is. What's up, Matt? Tim, how y'all doing out there, man, tonight? Well, watching this, E.J. O'Rourke has yet to make his pit stop. Josh Parker's out there. I think they've made their pit stop. Nigel Standish?
No, especially at the rate that Nick's closing in on them. I would say they're still out there on old tires. Probably trying to run this thing dry, see if they can't catch a caution.
Well, and, a caution late in the race could, obviously going to help Fuller with him being far back. And, all this is subjective, too. I mean, Fuller could come through the field like gangbusters and, forget about what I said. But, for the most part, I just feel like right now he's marred back in traffic. And, if you look back there, he's right behind. Looks like it was Glenn Campbell and another lap car. So he's having to deal with a lot of machines like that.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of ground to make up. And this is where you look at that pit stop difference. He ran maybe 5-6 laps longer, but is also 6-7 seconds behind Nick Cohan right now, who was 2 to 3 seconds behind him when they pit.
And I'm looking at his lap times. He's running 27.4. The Cohan's 27.4. So, yeah, faster, but not by much.
No,
now,
what's going to happen?
That'll. I think that will spread out a little bit later on in the run.
Yeah, and I think if you're Nick, what you want to see is this thing go green the rest of the way. You made your bed, and if you can take care of those tires by the time Fuller gets to you, those tires are going to be pretty well used up.
I'm with you on that one. I 100% agree. I think Fuller right now, unless he just has a miracle, and obviously a caution could definitely, throw in the mix, and that's not out the window here. But right now, E.J. O'Rourke, though, we've seen him do this before. E.J. out there and stretch out long, green flag runs and all. This could, the way I see this playing out is if he comes in and makes his pit stop or a caution flies, if he makes his pit stop here and then later in the race a caution flies, he might only have to put 2 tires on. I mean, that might work out well, depending on when the caution, if it came out. So that I'm trying to look at a scenario that's going to help EJ at this point right now.
Well, I think it gives him the track position. If the caution comes out, everybody's coming back down pit road and putting tires on these cars. They've run enough laps on them now since they pit that just about everybody would come back down.
Absolutely. I'm looking at 2. I mean, he's 5 seconds ahead. If he pitted right now under green and then later in the run, he would be on the newest tire, so he would definitely be making up some ground through the field. And a caution flew later on, he might be the one that actually could, because like you said, at that point, everybody's coming down. But he could come down and maybe put 2 tires on and get way back up front there, and might come out with a good finish here. I'm just trying to look at a scenario that might actually work.
Well, you kind of get to the point where you don't have the speed to win the race outright, and you got to try something different. And that's what EJ's doing. He's trying something different right now.
Look at a battle here. Nick Cohan and Josh Parker, they're side by side.
I think Nick's going to get him here through 3 and 4.
Yeah, they were real close there for the moment. That's actually, Justin really needs some stuff like that. Slow Nick down, if he has to pass a lot of cars, because, Justin actually is only about 7 seconds back from the leader, so he has made up a lot of ground. We'll just have to keep on it and see, does he have enough time? I'm going to say at this point, if he keeps up the pace he's going to be there at the end. He ran on 27.3. Cohan's 28 flat, so that's about, 7/10 right there?
Yeah, Nick coming around with a 27.8, though, now that he had a free racetrack in front of him.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Justin needs those going around cars. Now, it works both ways. Obviously, Justin's going to have to go around a few machines, going to slow him down. But, man, it's a gamble. It's a chess match right now between these two machines.
Yeah, they both they've played their strategy, and if the caution doesn't come out, they've made their bed and they're going to have to lay in it. We're going to see which one prevails.
No doubt about it. Don't want to count any of the other drivers out there in between them. You still got EJ out there. I think he's at this point, he's just praying for something wild to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody on the field to blow up or just, quit. Josh Parker definitely off the pace. There's Brian Macklin's going to go around him.
I think Josh Parker was one of the first people to come down pit road and obviously gained him a lot of track position, but just didn't get a caution to fall where I think he needed it to.
I'm with you here. Nick is actually marred in a little bit of traffic there as he goes around EJ for the lead. Cohan back out front. Now this is what he wants. He can actually kind of put his own race, and here comes EJ down on pit road.
Flying down pit road.
Yeah. Good old EJ. At least he ain't wrecked yet, so there we go.
Well, and the best thing that Nick can see right now is all these cars in his mirror with fresher tires on, because they're going to make it difficult for Fuller to get back up to his bumper.
Yes, it is. A good race so far, and like you said, Justin Fuller way back marred traffic back in 6th. Adam Gillian has got to be the guy. We talked about it there. Man, he started way back in the back and has made his way up to 4th place. So what a comeback, what a turnaround for him tonight.
Yeah, definitely a finish that he's going to be proud of, especially if he can hang into the top 5 here.
I mean, he's made a turnaround in that car. We saw him earlier, one by one, picking him off. He's actually going to take that spot away, and he's going to jump up into 3rd. But if he looks in the rearview mirror, you got Justin Fuller pulling up there, too, on him. I think Justin might be a tick faster than what he is on those newer tires, but I got to give a hats off there to Adam. That's some outstanding concentration and racing here all night long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough, especially at a Phoenix, to come from the back with how hard it is to pass and kind of the single lane track that it is. So definitely good on him. Good performance.
And a little damage on the front of that car too. So hey, which short track you can get away with a little bit of fender damage.
No.
Caution! Uh-oh.
That was a big wreck right in front of the leader. It looks like Brian Boris Cook. Yeah, he just lost it coming through 1 and 2, got up in the marbles, and around she went.
Yeah, watching it right there.
Good job not getting any damage on that car, though. It was a great save keeping it off the wall.
Oh, yeah, that thing just looped around. Didn't hit anything. Good job. Caution. Now, this right here. Wow, now, everything we were talking about? Forget about it, Patrick. Gone. That's right. Oh,
I think the
man.
one person who didn't want to see it was Fuller, because he was really making up ground on these leaders, and it looked like he was going to catch him by the end of this thing. Now, fresh tires, even playing field, I don't know.
Yeah, and you definitely didn't want to give fresh tires to Nick Cohan.
Well, you're talking about having
Wow.
to pass some people, too, as he comes in 4th.
I remember last time he had a very, very good pit stop. So
He's
let's
going to
watch
need
him
another
here.
one.
Here's where the mental stuff comes in. You've got to make stop. Everybody gets in the pit box very well. Daniel Falkenham comes up in there.
Yeah, now the crew's got to do their job. Because we've seen sometimes on iRacing, these crews will fumble on you.
Yeah. Well, Justin does get a good one. He doesn't beat Macklin out. He picked up a spot, though.
Yeah, I tell you what, who had a perfect stop was Nick Cohan. Easy, what he needed to do, in and out. Pit crew did their job. He's sitting in the catbird seat. I tell you what, it's going to get wild.
It is. I mean, here it's going to be interesting. Here, these restarts are definitely, kind of treacherous. But Nick got out front there. Brian Macklin's going to be in right behind him. And Justin Fuller made up a position there. So he's came in 4th. He's up to 3rd. Tommy Ryan, 4th place. Kyle Taraska, definitely a good stop for him, a good run. He's up to 5th. Nick Silver, another one right there. That's a good pit stop. Daniel Falkenham, we was talking about him earlier. He was struggling. He's up here. And Timothy Johnson, wow, what pit stop. And Pedro Megan, Chad Coleman, 3 guys we hadn't really mentioned much of tonight, but they 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, good stops for him. Good stops.
No doubt, able to get in and get out of pit road and get through pit the whole pit cycle. Get themselves some positions on pit road here, on the track, excuse me.
I don't know what happened. Josh Parker back to 29th right now. Bad pit stop, something.
Got a 14-second stop and a 49-second total. I'm not sure what happened to him on pit road. Well, actually, he's slowing down on the track.
Speeding penalty?
That's what it looks like, because he is slow on the track. He's letting a lot of cars go by. So he's either got a black flag or something. Yeah, he had to let a lot of cars go by, so something has happened there.
And talking about the timing, that's a mistake you want to make early in the race, not with only 40
Another guy,
left,
Adam
30 to
Gillian,
go.
back at 29th.
Man,
What happened to those guys there? You know what I think what happened to Adam, though? I think Adam overshot his pit box. Well, that's only showing me he's 2 seconds through the whole entire pit cycle. Oh. I don't know. That's something maybe somebody out there knows, or give us an update on what happened to Adam. Because Adam was up in the top 5. Holy cow, and Josh Parker was up there, so wow.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, speeding penalty. Back green, Nick Cohan away with 1st place.
Yeah, back green flag. So, definitely a night that those guys were having a good, probably shot now by being way back there in the back. But Cohan out front. Brian Macklin holding off Justin Fuller. That's what Nick needs to see.
Oh, quick yellow.
Yes, it is. Scott Simley.
Yeah, you had a feeling, so few laps to go. Cautions are going to breed cautions here at the end of this thing.
Well, the timber and everything's going to pick up. Looks like the cars just got loose there in front. And, man, I tell you what, Scott just went around that 12 machine. And then you see Nigel Stan just come flying through the picture there. Let's check on him. If he had a little help from behind. Let's watch it. Oh, yeah, he tried to turn down, just kind of went side by side with another machine. Looked like a lot of damage between those guys.
No, but, you want to crank that intensity meter up just a little bit more. We're probably going to go green here with just about 32 laps to go.
And I always say business is about to pick up. Run what you brung here, and you're right. Now you're going to see these guys that patient all race long. You got to push the envelope a little bit. You got to get it, because you've seen that the cars just will not pass. You just can't get up there. You got to try something new or interesting, and Right now, Nick Cohan's been the man out front. Brian Macklin there in second. Justin Fuller up to third. Kyle Trask fourth. Tommy Ryan up to fifth so far. Nick Silver sixth. Daniel Falkenham seventh. Timothy Johnson up to the eighth. Pedro Omega ninth. And Chad Coleman rounds the top 10. If you're Nick Cohan here, Patrick, what's going through your mind?
Man, just got to focus. Clean restarts, getting through turn 1, get through turn 3 with the lead. Hope the guys behind you like to race side by side.
Yeah, and he would love to see Fuller and Macklin back there, you know, kind of just race it out, like you said, side by side, and for let him just kind of long gone in the picture.
Yeah, and I definitely think on new tires, he's the fastest guy out here. I'm not sure Fuller can keep up with him once they get worn out, but we're at that point where they're not going to wear out too much anymore.
Well, we got a Toyota Yoda dominance up front here. Top 4 guys there, definitely getting it done. Cohan, Macklin, Fuller, Araska, all them guys there. So it's a bunch of foreign-made junkies up front. Did I lose you on that one?
Not still here. Just checking the information, seeing what we got here.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Well, it's been an outstanding race here. It's been more of a, I'm going to say it's more of like a technical style race. You got to be calculated on your moves, calculated on your tire wear and everything else out here. And Nick's been the man. I'm going to tell you, you know, broke the drought last week, won the race there. This week, been very dominant. You know, I know it's not over with, but been very dominant tonight. Can he make it 2 in a row? I know he was very, very happy last week. He'll be ecstatic this week if he can put it victory lane.
Absolutely. And what a way. You know, you come out, start the season, 4 races, and you take 2 of them. Sounds like a pretty good start to the season to me.
Oh, absolutely. Like my driver, Joey Logano.
Yeah. Man, what a start to the season he had. I tell you what, my guy Blaney can't buy a break this year.
I know, man. That's tough, man. He's definitely got the car, and it's the same thing we just said. It's like, you know, you get on a roll, you're on a roll. But sometimes you just get in those grooves, and you just can't help it. Tragedy everywhere you turn. But it's not over with. We're not going to give it to Nick here, even though he's been dominant all night long. It's still Phoenix, and we did see earlier that car, you know, did get a little loose, and he lost some position. So anything can play out if it goes green here. But these cautions definitely would help him out. I'll slow the pace down as we get set to go back. Green flag. Well,
Really
I'll tell you
good
what,
restart by
yeah.
Macklin.
Franklin got a good start there, and he drove it into turn.
It into turn 1.
I told you somebody was going to have to do that, but is it going to hold?
Can't believe he made that thing stick. What a
Wow,
run.
yeah, man, he piloted that thing in there like a rocket ship. That's what he needs to do, because that's going to force the head of Nick Cohan down low to race that car high. They touch coming out of the turn.
Side by side.
Oh, man, bumper to bumper. And that's going to give it to Macklin. Man, what a move to take the lead. He put the bumper to him. I tell you what, we told you the heat was about to build up here, and actually that hurt Cohan. Fuller's going around. Man, hey, they about to get busy up front.
Yeah, you got to get it gathered back up, re-rack, refocus. You know you can run him down.
Wow, what a move, man, by Brian Macklin to take the lead. He had to do it. I mean, he had to do something. This place is so tough to pass there, but he sent that thing in like a bullet on the outside, though. He didn't do it on the inside. He did an outside move, but the good one. Nick Cohan falls back to third. We were just talking. Maybe we just jinxed him.
Maybe, but I'm just impressed that he got that thing to stop, rotate, and was able to get through turn 1 as good as he was.
And then shoot up the track and go into the wall as hard as he sent that thing into the turn. I mean, you're right, that was impressive. But the only way he would have got it done is on new tires, and he did. Oh, contact! Daniel Falkenham got into the back end.
That's
Kyle
a big
Trask. I don't know who else got involved. I don't think anybody else got involved. Everybody kind of scattered. We saw that one live there. Daniel Falkenham just took he was trying to get us some Chick-fil-A out of that car.
What a good job by everybody to get around there, though.
Oh,
One thing you didn't want to do, give Nick another chance.
You know, you're right. That's going to be the thing. I was just thinking about it right there. Is now Nick's going to be like, okay, all right, we're going to see how y'all guys want to play this. We know Brian's just all out. He wants to win. How much does Nick want to win this race? How much does Fuller want to win? I really feel like Nick needs Justin Fuller to get up there and pressure Brian Macklin, just like Macklin did to him, because that allowed Fuller to get around him.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to get really interesting on this restart. That's for sure. Oh, guys, coming down pit road.
No.
Nope.
Last minute. Wow. I don't know if that would have been, it might have. I don't know. If there's another caution later on here, do you come on pit road?
I'm not giving up track position.
Okay. Yeah, hey, fair enough on that one. Brian Macklin right now is out front. Justin right behind him. You got Nick Cohen there along with him. Awesome.
Yeah, it's certainly not over here, as we're going to, take the green with, maybe 22, 23 laps to go.
Going to be good to remember we got one attempt at a green-white checkered here tonight, so that's got to play into the equation. Cautions breed cautions here. Just closing laps, like I said, about 20-some to go here. Phoenix for the Transervice Cup, presented by the Sim500 here tonight. Good one so far. It's been all Nick Cohen out front until that last restart. Brian Macklin probably could be the move of the race. Not over with. Definitely don't want to give it to him either there. But he sent that thing to the outside and it stuck. I know he's probably thinking, I'm glad, because it could have very easily came out from under him.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with how easy it is to spin this thing out getting into the corners. But hey, he made it stick, made it work. A little bit of door-to-door contact. Sure, Nick doesn't appreciate it. We'll see what happens on the restart.
Hey, it's exciting for us. I mean, and as a driver, that's a good thing that you said right there. A lot of drivers might say, well, I don't appreciate that. But as a driver, as long as the guy don't try to run through me, side by side, door-to-door kind of stuff, it really never bothered me as a driver. That's just hard racing.
Yeah, but you can see where, especially coming down for the win, maybe ruffles some guys a little bit. Great for us, great for everybody watching, but you don't like to be roughed up through the corner.
That's when you rough them up back, man.
Oh, absolutely, and he's going to get his chance.
Yes, it is, and this is something that they didn't want. And I think Brian Macklin, when he picks that outside lane, he did not want to see and give Justin Fuller another shot here, too, because, don't count Fuller out. Remember, we call him Mr. Excitement. Not showing it all night long, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see, is he going to do something wild here?
And this whole restart's going to get wild. I don't think we're going green all the way to the end here.
Here we go, getting set to go green flag here. Pace car's going to duck off.
Choosing the outside.
Yeah, I saw that, and I think it might be pretty smart. Obviously, he gets control of the field. Here we go.
Oh, away he goes.
He got a good jump. He got a really good. That's what he needed right there to get away from Fuller. And Fuller, what he needs is Cohen not to clear
big slide
Ryan.
back there.
Yeah, got it. All three got away. Man, they're about 3 or 4 wide back in the back of the pack here. Look at this. I know we got a good one going up front, but look at a mid-pack back here about Scott Stensel and company back there. Doug Roth and him. Wow.
Getting after it.
Yeah, it is. All kinds of cars side by side, sliding, slipping and sliding, coming out of the turns. This is just what the restarts, man, produce, but this looks like a traffic jam on a highway back here.
Yeah, and it's probably going to stay that way for the next, 20 laps.
Absolutely. Up front, they're all single file, but man, this mid-pack back here about Scott Stencil on back. It's car to wall hard. That looks like Steve Goschalk.
Kept it going straight, though.
Did. Oh, man, he slammed the wall hard, though. He was able to keep it going, like you said. They're 3 wide up there in front with Brian Boris Cooking Company. Man, these guys are racing back here.
Got to get all they can get. You never know. You might have another caution, get another shot at it.
Well, the way they're going to be the caution.
That's true.
Oh, car around.
There we go.
Scott Simley. Go back on the replay, see what happened. If you had a little help. Looks like Adam might have just moved up the track just a little bit, door to door there. The car got a little tight and got up into Scott. Got around, bumps the wall. Ouch.
Yeah, and we're talking about a guy, again, running top 10, then just had that one little mistake on pit road, and that's how his night's been.
Yeah, we absolutely. I've said mental mistakes, problems like that on pit road, and marred him back there in traffic. Nothing you can do, so unfortunate on that. But here we go. Now, if you're Brian Macklin, you're probably not wanting to see these cautions here because unless you just get awesome restarts, it does give Justin and him an opportunity at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want them bunched back up to you because one little mistake and they're going to be all over you.
And also you got to think about, too, the more of these that happen, you've got to get in the equation of tire spin. Because, they did run pretty good there on the green flag run. Tires will get out. That hot cycle between them. So you got to keep that in your mind as Macklin. He might think, well, yeah, I control the field. But he's got to be able to get that car stable and go, because the tires spin, that could give him just enough for Justin Fuller to stay right beside him.
Well, if they get side by side, look out for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, because they're going to be right on the back of these guys.
Could get interesting up front here, and as a driver, I don't want to be down there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be down there either, because, every single time we get a caution, these guys are going to get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more take and less give, and it's just going to, you're going to try not to wad it up here.
Absolutely. As you look right here, you got Nick Cohan hanging on the 3rd, Justin is stacking, Brian Macklin out front, Tommy Ryan to 4th, Daniel Falkenham's had to bounce back up to 5th, Trey Edson there, good run. The 6th, Nick Silver 7th, Timothy Johnson still hanging on to 8th place, Chad Coleman 9th, Chad Cole up there to 10th, so good top 10 there. Some guys having some good nights so far. They'd like to see this thing just go ahead and end. Quit with all these bunching up cautions.
Yeah, if you're the leader, you kind of want it to go green and give yourself a chance to get away.
Yes, you do. So getting set to go green flag racing here tonight. Man, I don't know. Been Nick Cohan all night long. If you're Nick, what do you got to do to get back up front?
Well, given the position that he's in, he's going to really hope that Fuller gets a good restart in front of him and takes Macklin side by side into turn 1, so it at least gives him an opportunity to get a run.
Yeah, I feel like if they go all single file, the top 3, it's all but shot right there, because it's just so hard to pass, so hard to catch. I'm with you. I think the only opportunity is if Fuller gets up there and pushes the issue with Brian, and then it gives him an opportunity to get up there too, because if they go single file and they get in that race style mood, I think where he's sitting at, and even Justin at that too, we've seen the leaders just be able to just hold on in that fresh air out there. There's nothing you can do. So I'll definitely agree with you on that one. He's going to need Fuller to do something amazing here.
Yeah, either that or, he really needs them to get together and maybe give him an opportunity to just squeak by.
Well, he wants to see if Justin will send it like Brian did.
I'd love to see it, especially from the inside.
And if he does that, go from the inside like that, the car probably could shoot up the track and get, door to door. So we'll see here. I have to watch on this restart.
Going to be a wild restart. Going to take the green with, I think, 17 to go.
Fuller and Company up front there with Macklin. Pace cars out of turn 4. Going to take the hard left turn off on pit road. We'll get set to go back green flag here. Brian Macklin definitely wants to get a very good jump. Don't want to spin the tires either. It's another thing to be mindful of. It's the pace cars in. Macklin is gone. Fuller not too far behind him, but again, a single foul.
Yeah, don't look now, but here comes Tommy Ryan on the outside.
Yeah, that's not what they wanted to see up front there. You know, Cohan's going to give. Looks like Cohan's got his hands full with Tommy Ryan this time. He's going to get around him though.
I'll tell you what, Fuller closed in quite a bit coming through 3 and 4 right there. Hopefully you can keep that up.
Good battle behind him. Daniel Falkenham there with Trey Edson and company. They're side by side throughout the field. Good bracing. As it's getting busy up front here, Justin Fuller's closing in on the leader. And that's going to help Cohan if he gets up there and kind of closes in and battles with him.
Fuller going to get a good run off the corner there.
Oh, car up in the wall, looks like. In the back here. That actually looks like Dwayne Vincent Company. Yeah, E.J. O'Rourke's around.
Yeah, and it really looked like Fuller was going to give Macklin all he had on that restart. Fuller beating him in the braking zone by quite a bit.
Oh. Back on the replay here as EJ came out of the turn, slams. Actually, he slams the wall. Another car in front of him slams the wall. And then when he does, he just comes off, and Brian Borscook nowhere to go. Ouch. Doug Roth nowhere to go either. And Justin Fuller gets involved with it also. Wow. Brian Borscook's going to get carried down the front stretch by old Doug Roth.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this speedway. You get that inside wall right there where you just start pinging off each one, and there's really nowhere to go for these guys.
Well, we said the temper's about to heat up here. This is exactly what you see at an end of a style race here for short track racing. So, you know, but Macklin has got to still be thinking, hey, you know what? I've got out front all these times, and what I got to do?
Well, he's going to have to hold on for at least 1, if not 2 more restarts, that's for sure.
Yes, he is. Justin's got to think about, too, what does he got to do? I mean, Justin Fuller, he's sitting there thinking, all right, I've been beat on the last several restarts. What do I got to do to get up there and challenge?
You almost have to just guess. You're going to have to guess, you know, when he's going to go, and that's obviously easier said than done, but...
And if he doesn't, then what do you got to do as a driver? It just looks like once he gets behind him, I don't know if he's playing it too safe or what. I mean, I know he's got the skill to get it done.
Well, before the caution came out, he was really beating Macklin into the corners. He was really outbraking him, closing in hard, and kind of hanging with him on the exit. If he can get that exit a little bit better, he'll give him a run down the front straightaway.
I think that's what he's wanting to do, or he's wanting to see, is if this thing will go green and maybe just be able to run him down and pass him. Because he might think, well, in a short run, I just don't have it. I have to see, but at some point, he's going to have to press that issue if he wants to win, that is.
Yeah, and, you know, bumpers are made for bumping, so.
I like that. Yeah. Don't wreck them, just move them.
Right.
Well, we're gonna have right about less than 10 to go when we go back green. Wow, it's going to get dicey up front and throughout the field.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if we don't see a green-white checkered. That's for sure.
All right, Patrick, don't be jinxing it.
I'm not jinxing anything. I'm just saying I'd be surprised if we don't get one the way these last 30 laps have gone. And
your typical Phoenix, I mean, it's typical short track. I don't want to say Phoenix, but typical short track. You know, you get bunched back up, not a lot of room. It's already a treacherous style place to pass and stay side by side. Tires are getting a little bit worn, so this is typical. You know, we talk about cautions breed cautions. So nothing against these guys. It's just one of those things. Short track racing in general here. We get set to go back green. Does Brian Macklin have what it takes to hold him off again here? And are we going to see this thing go green out? Get set here. Pace cars coming around. Boy, I tell you, this is whew, interesting. Pace cars coming out of turn 4. A drop off on pit road. Justin Fuller and company, along with Brian Macklin. He's been able to get the jump on the field. Justin looks like he's pulling back. Maybe going to anticipate that start this time. Gone. And it looks like, man, Macklin gets another good jump out front of Fuller. But we'll have to see. And this time looks like Fuller's, he did press the issue going into the turn.
Yeah, we're going to see what he's got. See if he can really push whatever's left of those tires and get up to his back bumper there.
And Nick Cohan right now is going to battle it out there along with Tommy Ryan and company. And Trey Edson's pushing on the back end of Daniel Falkenham. But Justin Fuller right now closing the gap on our leader, Brian Macklin. He have enough to get it done.
I'm going to lose a little bit of ground coming out of that corner, but he is pushing it for all it's got right now.
Searching around like he did with Nick Cohan to see what he can do. But he's definitely able to get up there to his, I don't think he's going to be able, I believe he's going to be able to get to his bumper.
I think he can too, but he's going to have to really set up the exit of one of these corners.
Chad Cole right there working on the back end of Tim Johnson. Timothy's right there working on Trey Edson. They're having a good battle back there about 6th, 7th, 8th. I think what we're seeing right now, I think that inside groove is working, but coming off the turns, it's not working real well. You see, Trey Edson almost went to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are pushing everything that these cars have. They're sliding up off the corner. They don't care how much tires they have left at the end of it.
Oh, absolutely not. You've got to use what you got right now. It's a good side-by-side battle. Timothy, Tim right there, and Trey been at it for a couple laps. Got Chad Cole right there behind him, so it's a good battle. As Justin still trying to figure out what he's got to do to run and get by Macklin, who is leading this race here. We got about 5 to go.
It's one of those things we've kind of talked about all race. You know, once you have the lead, you get that fresh air. It's so hard for the guy behind you to really get a good run on you.
Yes, it is. I know definitely right now. I think Brian actually was glad to see this thing go green all the way out. Chad Cole here is just watching this battle between Tim and Trey as they get awful close right there going into the turn. But they've been door to door for the last several laps.
Tim being a guy we haven't really talked a whole lot about tonight. Nice to see him up front, almost running for almost the top 5.
Yeah, right there doing really well up the 7th, like you said. And, trying to actually, get that 6th place spot away from Trey. Trey's just not giving it up, though, easily. That's still a good battle between those cars.
Oh,
caution out. Uh-oh.
Well, they're going to get one more shot at it.
Yes, they are. Chris Jaboo bounced off the wall, collected Mike Kelly. Ouch. Hard lick. Well, you're right. This is going to put us in our green-white checkered. One attempt now. So, if it goes green and the caution flies, it's over with. So now if you're Justin Fuller, do you just send that thing in turn 1 and 2 or what?
Well, I think if you can get the restart, you need to, yeah. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself kind of in the back and not have a chance at them later on if you don't get there.
Well, he's only going to have one shot.
No, they got 2 laps to get around it, so you don't want to blow your shot in turn 1 of lap 1, that's for sure.
even with the likelihood of this thing could, because if a caution flies as soon as it goes green, it's over with automatically. So would you wait till the white flag if they make it there, or would you try it right off?
Probably.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. If it's me, I'm probably waiting for the white. But that being said, you don't know what the guys behind you are going to do. If they wreck before you get to that white flag, it's over and you missed your shot.
Yeah, that's why I'm probably going to lean to the opposite way of that and say just go all out right off. If it doesn't stick, hey, at least you tried. Because if it doesn't stick even on the white flag, well, then it's pretty much going to pan out the same scenario for you where you're going to finish. So why not? If it does stick, hey, it stuck for Brian earlier. If he can get alongside Brian, and I think that's what Brian does not want to happen. He does not want Fuller to get side by side with him, because if that happens, then you got to contend probably with Nick Cohan and company.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're Fuller, it's about getting a good restart here. Being side by side, and if not side by side, close enough to nudge him up out of the way.
So many things, so many scenarios that could play out here all night long. Get set. And Brian Macklin, boy, he had to move of the race. I mean, bulldozed that thing to the outside of Nick Cohan earlier on and made the pass and has been able to stay out through all these cautions so far, but he's going to have one more time to do it. He's going to have one more great restart up his sleeve, in his bag there, so to speak. Can he get it done here tonight?
Well, he needs to get away like he has on the last couple of restarts, and I think he's got it made.
Here we go. Hey, as a driver, you're probably feeling the intensity right now. Like, what I got to do.
Yeah, your heart's beating a little bit faster. You're getting ready. You're running through scenarios in your head and just about getting focused.
Good focus so far. All right, here we go. This thing's about to get wild here. You got Brian Macklin, Justin Fuller up front. Final time, green, white, checkered. If a caution flies before they get to the white flag, it's over with. If it flies after that, well, then they're going to race it back around. Here we go. About to pick up front.
Oh, yeah.
Pace cars in. Brian Macklin, you can see Justin Fuller right there. Yep, Macklin got the start he wanted. That is exactly what Macklin wanted, but you saw Fuller. He did. He sent it into turn one. Gained a lot of ground. Is it going to stick? That's the thing.
Yeah, he's got to set it up real good through 3 and 4 here if he's going to want a shot at him.
Yeah, he sent that thing 1 and 2 right there. He is closing to the back bumper. He gets a good run off the turn. Here it is, final time, white flag. Here we go, one more time. Can he get to the back bumper of Macklin? Battle for third back there, too, between old Nick Cohan and company. I don't know if he's close enough to make a move in turn 3.
He's going to be a little bit too far back here.
He's going to send it, but in the final turn, it's going to be Brian Macklin winning this one. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go back to Tommy Ryan and Nick Cohan, because Cohan's out of turn. Tommy Ryan is going to take third. Cohan pounds the wall, and several other cars do too. What a battle to the finish line there for third place. But Brian Macklin, wow, pulling this thing off here today. Unbelievable finish to this race.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure.
Tommy, man, right there. They had a very good run between them. Wow. If we can't find old Tommy Ryan down here and bring her with him. We have a third place man here. Let's get a word with him, Tommy Ryan.
Hey, Tommy, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, man.
Well, it was an interesting last 30 laps for you guys. You were able to really hang it on the outside of Nick Cohan and steal third away.
I know. I haven't gone back and watched the replay. I probably pinched him a little bit too much. I'm not sure if I did or not, but yeah, it was go time. I was just the restarts before. I wanted to, kind of let him get out there in front of us so we could roll because the guys behind us were scrapping. It was going to allow us to get away, and maybe if Macklin and Fuller started mixing it up, it would leave an opportunity. But the cautions kept coming, man, and it was go time at that point. So,
you think if it could have gone green the rest of the way, you had something for him at the end?
Oh man, I don't know. It just takes so long for something to happen. Everybody's so equal. You really have to wait on somebody to make a real bad mistake to be able to pounce on them. So I don't know. It was fun to drive. I'll say that.
Well, congratulations! Really good third place finish for you tonight. Anybody you want to thank before you get out of here?
Oh yeah, man. My sponsors, Coastal Safety Auditors, Patriot Fire, Northern Tool and Equipment, and DJ Beverly for helping fund a lot of these races for the Friday and Saturday night stuff with Patriot and Coastal, and Joey for putting up with everybody and all the admins and you guys for putting on the show. So good job.
10-4. We'll see you next week, man.
Thanks, man.
Yo, Tommy Ryan, third place man here tonight. Let's bring up the second place man, Justin Fuller here, who tried to do everything he could. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Justin, got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, you were really diving it in deep there at the end. Just couldn't quite get to Macklin.
Yeah, I definitely felt like, Cohan was pretty fast on the long runs there. Or the short runs, I mean. I feel like I had everybody else covered other than that. Just clean air means way too much still with these cars. It's kind of annoying, but, not taking anything away from Macklin. He ran a great race and a well-deserving win, but, yeah, it just sucks. I wish I could have had clean air with fresh tires just once this race.
Yeah, you seem to spend kind of the whole race there in second place, and you again really diving it in there. Anything, a little bit better restart, stay side by side into one. Anything you could have done different?
Yeah, I felt like if I could have timed the restart better. It's so hard when the leader can decide when he wants to go, and there's such a big box that he can choose to go in, and I wish we had restart boxes. It'd make things more interesting, and but it is what it is. We ran a great race regardless. Come home with a clean car, P2. Can't take anything away from that. So that should be a good jump in points, and yeah, it's unfortunate, man. I just wish I could have had clean air once,
Yeah, close to getting that second win of the season. Anybody you want to thank before you get out of here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Transervice for sponsoring the series. Everybody at Sim500, all the admins here. I want to thank Sean Yoder with Nemesis Lab for sponsoring me again. Been a good supporter of mine. I love driving his logos on my cars. I got to thank Tim's Corner Motorsports for sponsoring me as well. All my teammates at Aftermath Motorsports, gmercer.com, Trey Edson Design for painting me an amazing looking car, and all of our cars look amazing for every week. And you guys for putting on the broadcast. We'll go to my worst track next week at Atlanta and probably run 30th and hopefully come out of there in one piece.
Yeah, we got more faith in you than that. We'll see you up front tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll see.
Have a good one.
Oh yeah, Mr. Excitement there, Justin Fuller. Boy, I tell you what, that man knows how to do what he do. With this guy here out of nowhere, he made it exciting. But Victor Lane, Brian Macklin joined the booth. Got copy.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Well, we gotta ask, how in the world you made that car do something that it wasn't supposed to do on that pass of Nick Cohan?
Man, I gotta be honest with you. I drove that car up into the corner so hard I thought I was going to go up and hit the turn 2 wall, and for some reason that car stuck and I was able to get a good turn off. I had to still fight with him down in 3 and 4 just a little bit, but I didn't believe in it. I really didn't. I drove the car in there praying it was going to stick, and for some reason it did.
Oh, it did, and it was an awesome move. I'd say the move of the race there. Gotta also give you congratulations here because you've done something first of the season, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously winning here at Phoenix, but being the first rookie to win here in the season.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even think about that. It's funny to think that I'm a rookie in this series, but that's how the rules are. I've never ran in the Transervice Cup Series before, so I got to run the rookie stripes. I'm running for that Rookie of the Year title, and of course, last week getting wrecked early kind of hurt my points. So tonight's going to be a big bounce back. But yeah, that's so cool. This is my 4th race in the Cup Series, and to get a win, I didn't expect to win this season. Honestly, the competition is so good. There's so many good drivers. I was going to be content with just being able to run top 5, top 10, but I love this racetrack, and this new tire really fits my driving style, and I came into the night really feeling good about it, and obviously clean air was the most important thing, and Cohan and Fuller were faster when they were out in front with the clean air, but if you could get in front of them and take control of that clean air, you could really kind of control the race.
Well, we saw that too. Once you got out front, and you're right, the clean air was very important, but man, what a win, what a way to cap off the season for you to put it in here. Tough track tonight. Got anybody you want to thank for this win?
Oh, absolutely. I got to thank all of my teammates, Justin, Trey, EJ, Adam, all those guys. Trey for painting the beautiful paint scheme that I've got. I think I've talked about it before. I've got the American Lung Association and lung ports on my car. That's a tribute to my late grandmother who passed away from lung cancer about 1.5 years ago. And I've done a couple of fundraisers with them, and they allowed me to run this paint scheme, so I can't thank them enough. I got to thank you guys for putting on the show. I go back and watch these broadcasts every week, and you guys do a heck of a job. And of course, got to thank all the admins for putting together these series and allowing us to race here. It's a great place to race, and I love coming every time.
Well, definitely, man. We'll keep your thoughts and prayers there for your grandmother, and an awesome win for you tonight here to showcase that and bring it out. Like I say, first rookie here to win in the series. Even though he might not be a rookie, but he is definitely there challenging for that one. Again, Brian Macklin, congratulations on the win.
Man, thank you so much. I hope I can talk to you guys a few more times like this.
There you go. Boy, I tell you what, that's something right there. Just happen to see that there, Patrick. Indeed, first rookie winning it here this season. But what a race, man. I couldn't ask for nothing different. Had some cautions, had some passing, had some strategy, had some green flag runs. Had about everything you needed.
Yeah, it's good old short track racing here at this 1 mile trial, I guess is the best way to put it.
Absolutely. So, well, we're going to leave, man, Phoenix here at ISM Raceway. It was a good one. Brian Macklin putting it in victory lane. For myself, Sim500, Patrick, and everybody here, everyone, have a good night.